Okay, good afternoon and welcome to the Thriveatwork Wellbeing Award celebrations. I'm Sharon Lindop. I'm the Programme Lead and Accreditation Manager for Thriveatwork. So thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Due to all the uncertainties with COVID, we've decided to do another virtual event this year. So it may lack that bit of glitz that we normally would get, but I've tried to give you a bit of that by wearing some sparkly earrings and a glittery top, which I hope you can see. But by no means we'll try in this virtual world to really recognise your achievements and celebrate your successes. We obviously won't be able to give you that individual photo opportunity with Andy Street, but we will be recording the ceremony, and so you can cut out your little bits, and we'll be trying to do some screenshots as best we can to share with you after the event. We would like to ask if you would keep yourself unmuted most of the time during the presentations, but obviously when we want to celebrate and clap, then let's unmute. And if you can, please keep your cameras on so that we can see there's an audience outside there. So I'd like to start the afternoon by really introducing Councillor Izzy Salcombe, who's the leader of Warwickshire County Council and also our West Midlands Combined Authority Portfolio Lead for Wellbeing, to come and give us her welcome address. Thank you, Izzy.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much. And it's great. I'm really proud to be here today. I could only be even more prouder if we were in person. But I think we're here to honour the very hard work and the commitment of these 32 organisations celebrating their achievement on gaining the accreditation through the Thriveatwork Wellbeing Award. As we are all too keenly aware, it's been a really tough year of COVID-related struggles and with much uncertainty about the reopening of our economy. Beyond the direct impact of COVID on the health of the nation, the pandemic has undoubtedly had an impact on people's well-being in general. And never before has the connection between our collective health and our collective wealth been so widely understood. And never before has the role of employers supporting their workforce been so critical. So the West Midlands Combined Authority, and I'm delighted that we've got the Mayor, Andy Street, here today, but the West Midlands Combined Authority is committed to supporting our employers, delivering tangible improvements in the health and well-being of their workforce throughout the Thriveatwork Wellbeing Programme, right across the Midlands. So recognising the particular challenges of the times that we're living through, as well as the deep desire of so many businesses to set down the building blocks of continued improvement in this space, the WMCA introduced the foundation level to the Thriveatwork programme this year. This will hopefully support even greater numbers to reach the bronze marker on their Thrive journey next year. A huge achievement that we're here together to applaud. The Thriveatwork Wellbeing Commitment is a standard of good practice and a quality mark for health and well-being in work. And you should all be beaming with pride about what you've achieved. You're demonstrating that you are truly committed to the health and the well-being of your staff and that your organisation stands out from the crowd as an employer of choice. You have all invested in the wider health of your people, and the Thriveatwork commitment framework has enabled you to bring everything together within your mental health and well-being strategies. Your support in helping your staff to get regular exercise, to eat healthily, and to manage stress, to name just but a few of the many things that you are doing, this can really help them profoundly. What we perhaps haven't yet championed loudly enough is the resilience that this builds in individuals and the wider workforce, supporting a prevention rather than cure approach, as our workplaces are such a key drivers for all our overall health. So this meeting, Head On, one of the priority challenges, sets out the Combined Authorities 2020 Health of the Region report. It genuinely is people-powered health in action. And though I know, and through it, I know our workforces will reinvigorate our economy as we return to our workforce fighting fit. And I'm sure we're all really eager to hear about our award-winning organisations here today who have implemented the Thriveatwork programme and to learn about their real impacts on the people that they look after and who work for them. So can I just say I congratulate all of you and thank you all on behalf of the people in your workforce who have benefited from you taking that step and making the effort to improve their well-being and their lives. Thank you so much, and I hope you really enjoy today. Over to you, Sharon.
Thank you, Izzy. Okay, so we're actually going to start by recognising the organisations who've achieved the foundation level. And this level really enables employers to start their accreditation process and demonstrates that they are truly committed to the health and well-being of their staff. So time doesn't allow us to recognise each organisation separately, but we duly note your individual achievements. So we're going to list the organisations in two different groups with a break in between so that some representatives, if they want to come forward to sort of give Andy a wave and say hi, then that'll be great. So if I am delighted now to hand over to Andy Street, Mayor for West Midlands, to come forward and read and list these organisations.
So Sharon, thank you very much for hosting us so beautifully with your sparkly earrings. And indeed, before we go any further, can I thank Izzy, not just for her inspiring words today, but also what she's done over the last year, indeed for a number of years, to make sure that the wellbeing agenda, and particularly the mental health wellbeing agenda, really is driven across the combined authority. Izzy has taken this brief and put her characteristic determination and guile behind it. So actually that's what's led to the real momentum that we have. So Izzy, thank you for all you've done to serve, and I hope you take a fair bit of pride when you see all the organisations delivering. And I know your own organisation is up for a little recognition later on, which is very appropriate as well. So Izzy, thank you. And so that's that. Now then, we're going to move to the awards. And I will admit, I've got some trepidation in doing this. I feel like the sort of Oscars award judge when, do you remember a few years ago when La La Land was the winning film for everything? And the judge gave the Oscar to La La Land, even though it wasn't what was written on the card, because it was all just predicted, or they give the wrong award. So I'm going to have to read my script very closely so I don't get a mistake of that nature. I very rarely actually read the words accurately, Sharon. I sort of make it up as I go along, but today I can't. So I've got my script and I'm going to stick reasonably closely to it. Just to say one other thing before we get kicked off, if one of the companies I mention in this foundational piece would like to chip anything in, please just make yourself known on the screen and then we'll ask you to say something. I think all the companies in the bronze, we're going to hear from them directly, but please, any of the foundational companies, it'll make it a bit more fun if you step forward if you want to offer anything. So please just interrupt, put your hand up so we can see you. That would be great. So I think, Sharon, you want me to get on with the foundational awards or recognition, and as it says on my sheet, in no particular order, just as in the Strictly arrangements, no particular order, by time-honoured words. So we'll start off then with congratulating Minerva Industries. Now, they're a precision engineering firm for the automotive sector with 70 employees. And the Thrive lead, and these are the people I shall call out, and you must take your own bow, even if we can't see you, because you know that you've worked very, very hard to get your company acknowledged in this way. And most importantly, you've actually done something for your fellow employees. So the Thrive lead at Minerva is Maxine Davis. So Maxine, many congratulations to you. And the next we come, and if you want to come forward and say anything, as I say, when your name's called out, please do just put your yellow hand up and we'll hear from you. And the next I go to is IPP, who are a pallet supplier. There's their branding just coming up on the screen. Pallet supplier, 65 employees, and the Thrive lead there is Laura Howard. So Laura, congratulations to you. The next one, we move to a slightly bigger company, Parent Pay, and I'm sure what you're already getting the idea from is there's all sorts of different sectors represented this afternoon, and they're in the financial systems sector, 245 employees, and the Thrive lead there, April Carney Dalton. So April, congratulations to you. And next we go to one of the biggest private organisations to be awarded, Birmingham's own Wesleyan, who, as we know, are in the finance sector. A unique ownership structure, of course, makes it very interesting there. 1,500 employees. So unsurprisingly, there are two who've led the Thrive activities there. Kelly Collum, who took this forward, and along with Jess Lambie, who is now the Thrive lead. So to both of you, congratulations. And I know your organisation is incredibly focused on employee wellbeing, so first class. And then we come to what I think might be the biggest single organisations, public sector organisation, and it is to Birmingham City Council with 14,000 employees, the largest employer in the city, I believe. And so the Thrive lead, not I think on the screen today, or maybe not, is Anju Deer, and she is on maternity leave. So in her place, and I hope I pronounced this correctly, is Sharon Barach. So Sharon, congratulations to you. And then next we stick with the legal sector to EA Ellison. My apologies, not the legal sector at all. I can't read. There's the first gaffe. I can't read my own script. We go to EA Ellison and Co, a hair and beauty salon wholesaler. We know that's been an industry troubled by COVID, of course, closed, but then reopening rapidly. So I suspect that EA Ellison and Co have had a very busy time in recent weeks, and the Thrive lead there for 100 employees, and think of the responsibility, making sure those 100 all benefit from this, is Bernadette Powell. So to Bernadette, thank you for what you have done. And then just a couple more in this early group. We go to Heath Watch Warwickshire, public sector health and social care service, smaller company, 7 employees. So of course, a real achievement when you sort of have to do everything yourself in a small organization, don't you? Real achievement to get the recognition, and that has been led by Lucy Dean. And then sticking with the healthcare sector, a bit of a theme here, Penderel's Trust, 170 employees there, and the Thrive lead there is Kate Soames. So Penderel's Trust, that's just come up on the screen, which is great. And as I say, just 2 more in this, going back to the engineering sector, to Technoset Limited, precision engineers who are part of the overall Technoset group with 30 employees, and the Thrive leads there, Sabrina Tashika and Adam Land. And then the last one in this first group, Park Hill Thorns Federation. Now this is to the education sector. It's Thorns Infant and Park Hill Junior Schools, together 60 employees, and the Thrive leads there, Andy Davis and Rebecca Harrison. So congratulations to Andy and Rebecca for how you've led your schools through this. And I know this can make an incredible difference in schools. I was lucky enough last year after the awards to go out to Acock's Green actually and visit one of the schools that won last year. And I saw what a very practical difference it was making. So there we are. I think at that point, Sharon, you want me to pause and just allow everyone in that first sector to take a bow.
That's right. So let's join them to give them a shout. So if there's anybody in this group that wants to come forward, I know I thought I saw Jess there from Wesleyan, did I? Does anybody want to come forward to say anything?
Let's put Jess on the spot. Let's ask her if she'd like just to say a little bit about the difference it's made. So Jess.
No.
I was not prepared for that, so thank you for putting me on the spot. I don't have sparkly earrings, unfortunately. But thank you so much. It's wonderful to be called out in that way. Thriveatwork has been a fantastic thing for us. I was singing your praises yesterday. Our CEO and our HR team are really invested in this. I'm actually asked to update on our progress on a monthly basis, which is really wonderful that we've got that commitment from our organisation. It's just really helped us clarify the gaps. I mean, I'm really pleased from Wesleyan's perspective that the majority of the things we already have in place, we have our policies, we have fantastic reporting, and now I know that we need to focus on things such as musculoskeletal health and really pushing some further guidance for our employees. So you've been an absolute lifesaver in that respect, and I can't thank you all enough.
Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Jess. I know there was quite a few here from Pendrell's Trust. Does anybody want to just come forward from Pendrell's Trust? No.
Hi. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Please, yes.
Gary Jones. Yeah, I just want to say thanks to Kate and to Debbie, our HR manager, both of whom worked really hard to get us this accreditation, and we do see something that it's really valuable to us as an organisation who are at the heart of the community. So thanks very much.
Thank you. And what's your role, Gary, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm the chief exec, the CEO.
Brilliant. Well, that's really great that you made time to come on this and to congratulate your staff. That's very telling in itself, actually. So thank you, Gary.
Thanks.
Could I just also say thank you very much to Sharon Naylor, who supported us all the way through this as well, week by week, and continues to for our bronze level as well. So thanks, Sharon.
Lovely, Debbie. Thank you.
Lovely.
Okay. Shall we go on with the second listing then, Andy, if you're happy?
We will, but let me just pull out, first of all, a contribution in the chat, which probably flashed upon your screens from Daria at Eon, I think it is, because the point that's being made there in the chat is so important. It says, I'm just getting it back on my screen. If I remember it slightly wrongly, Daria, my apologies, it's gone off my screen. But basically, the point you were making was congratulations to everyone, because these first steps are sometimes the most difficult to make and to get the momentum on which you can build to the next level of accreditation. So thank you for making that point, because it is absolutely right. So point well made in the chat there. Thank you. All right, to the second group. I shall continue with my Oscar compare effort. So second group, first of all, we go to a GRS group, a construction. Hooray! Yeah, hooray, that's right, some reaction. To GRS. Where are you from? Where's the GRS from?
Nuneaton.
Nuneaton, brilliant.
Nuneaton, that's where our head office is, yeah.
Another Warwickshire company then. Construction material wholesaler, 800 employees. You've heard it's in Nuneaton, and the Thrive lead is Mel Milazzo. So Mel, congratulations to you if that was you speaking just now. Then next we go to a wonderful organisation that's influence goes well beyond its own scale. To the Heart of England Community Foundation, which is a charity that actually raises and allocates funding to local community groups. It's all about building the resilience of communities, and that's across the West Midlands and Warwickshire. Only has 17 employees, but its influence goes very much further than that. And the two Thrive leads there, Shamila Ahmed and Sarah Phillips. So congratulations to you, and thank you for all you do for the community. I know it's been a very testing time for you, but your work's been critical in the last 2 years. Next, we go to a lovely named company, the Earth and Lamp Limited, a media creative business with 13 employees, and congratulations to them. Interesting, the scale, some very big businesses, some small businesses, and the Thrive lead there, Janika Ock. So Janika, congratulations to you. And then an interesting one shows the growing influence of this activity. We go to Nottingham, out of our area, the first, out of our immediate West Midlands area, the first company for the East Midlands to win this accreditation through our scheme, TTK Confectionery Limited, creative food gifting company based in Nottingham. So there we have TTK Confectionery, and the Thrive lead there, Jess Barnett. And then to a very different sector, back to the West Midlands, of course, Superfast IT Limited, an IT computer support company, service support company with 12 employees. And the person whose name is in light is Sue Lynch. So Sue, and I see Catherine is on the screen there from Superfast IT, giving a little round of applause. Thank you very much. And then sticking in the IT computer support sector, slightly bigger company, Tysky Limited, 126 employees, and the Thrive lead there is Fiona Trinder. So Fiona, thank you to you for what you have done. Then back to the education sector, another primary school, Brookhurst Primary School, 50 employees. And we know this is a big job to actually get Thrive to take root throughout a school with all their complexities. And the lead there was Mark Hughes. So Mark, congratulations to you. Then next, sticking in education, but in a slightly different way, we go to University College Birmingham. We know what wonderful things go on there, but to the Guild of Students, which is actually a charity student union, obviously looking after the welfare of students. And my, hasn't that been important in recent months? And the Thrive lead there is, of course, Sarah Curtin. So to UCB Guild, well done, Sarah. Sticking with education and another school, famous name, Dame Ellen Pinsett School, 67 employees, and the lead there is Denise Fountain. So and I love your slogan that's just popped up on my screen there, Denise. So that's great. And then the last one in this second rung of foundational accreditation to another of our big public sector organisations, to Shropshire County Council. And I love this, it is so precise, with 3,569 employees, not 3,570 or 68. I'm sure it changes daily, but there we are, 3,569. And I know, hooray, yes, give yourself a big cheer, Carol. Carol is the Thrive lead, who says she couldn't have done it without the support of Jez Blower, Laura Jones and Sam Collins. And I might just ask you to comment in a moment, Carol. But I know you were particularly pleased to have got this accreditation just in time for today. So, Carol, do you mind if I keep you? Oh, actually, no, I'm supposed to go back to Sharon first of all to do the time on applause.
It's fine.
Well,
you just carry on.
I'll do it then. Okay, so I think only right that the brands that you see on the screen, we come together to congratulate all of them and particularly their Thrive lead. So a little round of applause. Very happy to hear from anybody, as we did before, but I am going to call out one person because I sense that this organisation is very proud and would quite be very willing to speak. So Carol, just tell us your story. Vast organisation to get these principles established in. How did you do it?
Absolutely, Andy, and it was no mean feast at all. I think, you know, this is about coming together in terms of a very small team. I think pinnacle for us was the fact that we appointed a wellbeing officer at the start of the year, and a big shout out to Sharon, because without Sharon, who was coordinating and bringing this all together, then, you know, we wouldn't be as far as we were, or as we are. I think for us, this was around coming together and being very clear where we were and where we needed to be. So this gave us the focus to channel our energies into sort of moving forward. So yeah, absolutely proud. Very, very pleased that we got in there just at the last minute. So thank you to the Thrive team for your support. It's been fab. Thank you. No sparkly earrings, unfortunately, but maybe next time.
A good set of headsets, though. So headphones. So that's great. And I see that Mel once got her hand up. So thank you, Mel, for coming in. So over to you.
Okay, I just wanted to say that I think it's an amazing framework to follow. We had no idea where to start with this, as much as it's quite in depth, but you know, I had no knowledge in this area. I'm gaining it extremely fast. So I just want to thank you for the framework to give us something to follow. So we're very proud of where we're at now, and we're hoping to go on fairly quickly to bronze. And again, Sharon Naylor, what a star. Couldn't have done it without her. So thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Mel. And I don't know if she's still on the line. I'm going to ask if Jess from TTK is on the line, because it's very interesting that a Nottingham-based company has come on board with this. So Jess, are you there?
I am, yes, representing the East Midlands, yes.
So just tell me how you sort of found this West Midland product. I mean, delighted you did, and delighted you've come on board, but just tell me, and do you think it could spread in your city?
I really do hope so. We got involved through the mental health productivity pilot, which kind of started us looking at this sort of initiative within our company. We employ 49 people, so they said, do you want to go on to do an accreditation? And luckily that we were able to take part in Thrive, even though we are East Midlands.
Ooh,
but yeah, super delighted to represent the East Midlands, and I do think that more and more companies, specifically MSC, what are they called? SMEs, that's the word.
Yeah, SMEs, yes.
I am being slightly distracted.
Yeah.
SMEs should take part, because we really do owe a lot to our team players within our workplaces. We're kind of built on the foundation of our team, so they deserve everything in terms of our health and well-being practices and initiatives. So we were delighted to reach foundation level, and hopefully it's onwards and upwards with the help of fantastic Mitzi, Sharon, Tia and Andy as well. So thank you very much, guys. We really appreciate your help, and yeah. Thank you.
And thank you, Jess. And I have to say, hello, I presume your son. So young man with your thumbs up, we've all enjoyed you. And so good afternoon with your initials AS. What does that mean for your school? Lovely, Touchbrook. Anyway, thank you for joining us, and Jess, you've done very well there to press on regardless. Great stuff. Lovely. Okay, now then, before I move to the next the bronze level, I want just to congratulate one other organisation, and I need to call out the Royal Orthopaedic Hospital in Birmingham, 1,000 employees, and we want to give a special mention to them because they just missed the deadline for achieving the bronze award. And I know the team were disappointed, but critically, the work over the last 18 months in any hospital has been incredibly challenging, and the well-being of staff has been obviously an incredible priority as well. And the fact they've actually maintained this, moved forward, are getting ready for that bronze award in due course is a really incredible achievement. I just want to say a big thank you to Laura Tilley Hood and Claire Mayer, sorry. And if you'd like just to say a few words, you'd be very welcome, either of you, Laura or Claire. You on? No, they're probably going about their business at the Royal Orthopaedics. So if I've moved too quickly, do say, but I think not. So there we are. And I'm told that your accreditation will be happening very shortly. So congratulations to you. Okay, Sharon, what we're going to do next?
Okay, we're going to move on next to the bronze level award holders. And it gives me real pleasure to be actually hosting this and to see them actually achieving this. For some of these organisations, they've been working towards this for a long time. You know, before we introduced foundation level and before we'd even heard of COVID. So, you know, they've really been at it for some time, and their achievements are really sort of noted. For other organisations, they have actually gone through the foundation and then moved through onto the sort of bronze award. In recognition of your achievements, you've already received the certificate and the award, and you've been given the logo to display as a symbol of excellence. So we commend you all for all the work that you've done and that you're tackling towards health issues in the workplace. And we know now that you've got a good set of health, safety and wellbeing policies in place, and that you've got effective communications, and you've tried to provide your staff with information and tools to adapt healthier lifestyles, and hopefully it will improve their mental health and wellbeing. I'm going to this time introduce each organisation individually, and then we're going to show either their case study recording or an acceptance recording, after which time then you'll have the opportunity once again to come forward and speak with Andy. So we appreciate when we asked you to do these recordings. You may have felt a little bit uncomfortable about filming yourself and doing this, especially some of those with limited resources at home to do so. But it does bring a bit of life, it brings a face, and it shows your sort of experience. So we really do appreciate it. And I think you'll see the different approaches that people have taken to this. So once again, a big thank you. So once again, we're going to do this in groups. And the first group that I'm going to start with are smaller sized organisations. And we have to recognise here that they don't necessarily have the same resources as some of the larger organisations. They don't have dedicated HR. But they've all proved that health at work is priority, and that they can achieve the Thriveatwork award without too much of a financial investment. So I'm going to start by congratulating Apex Resource Management Limited. They're a specialist recruitment agency in the automotive engineering and manufacturing based in Warwick, and they employ 12 members of staff. They really got involved with Coventry City Council as a result of really wanting to look after their staff, and particularly the mental health of their staff during the pandemic. At times their workplace can be quite stressful, and they thought this would help them. Lisa Travis has been their health champion, and she focused on ensuring that they had all the right policies and procedures in place, and that they were robust enough to meet the Thriveatwork criteria. So let's take a look and listen to their case study.
Hi, my name's Neil Johnson. I'm the Operations Director at Apex Recruitment. We got involved with the Thriveatwork initiative through the pandemic in the back end of 2020, having been approached via an email sent out by the Thriveatwork team. The main reason for doing this was to look after the mental and physical wellbeing of our staff, those on furlough and recently returning from furlough as well. It's been a great initiative for us as a small business, however it has had its challenges along the way. We didn't have a designated resource to look after the actual documentation of the Thriveatwork programme. However, for me it was never about the documentation, it was all about looking after our staff. And we're now going to show you some of the initiatives that we've undertaken as part of the Thriveatwork programme. One of the enhancements that we made as part of the Thriveatwork initiative was to install an outside seating area. Our staff can make use of this at lunchtimes or for socialising. We also decided to implement Plank Tuesday, where members of staff volunteered to do a 30-second plank. And working from home meant that we sat behind our desks a lot more, so it's 30 seconds of star jumps as well. And not forgetting Fruity Friday to keep our vitamin C intake up. We are delighted to have attained bronze status for Thriveatwork. A massive thank you to Sharon and to Jenny for all their support along the way. But this isn't the end of the Thriveatwork journey for us. We're very keen to make sure we maintain this within our business. We have it as an agenda point at our fortnightly town halls within the business, and it's something key to the future success of the business and the success of our staff.
So Neil, Lisa, I don't know if you're on the line. We've enjoyed that video. Is one of you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Unfortunately, Neil's on his holidays, so it's just me today.
I thought, yeah. Anyway, so Lisa, you, we have to ask you, about this Plank Tuesday. And I mean, did you find that people got this whole thing about the physical well-being given the stresses of lockdown?
Absolutely. I think it was a great thing to get everybody involved, because it's something easy that everyone can do. We also did something which we called like Fitness Fun on Teams. So we obviously use Microsoft Teams. So we got people to sort of send in little random exercise suggestions throughout the day, you know, go and do some lunges, or, you know, run around for 10 seconds, just to get people up and about. And I think people really responded to that, just to remember that also when we're all working from home, that everybody is still here, and, you know, we're all working as part of a team. So I think that aspect of it really worked well. So yeah, it was great.
And obvious question, what about those people who might be less confident physically? How did you make sure that was a positive experience for them as well?
Well, there were a lot of people that were perhaps just going off camera doing a plank, which was absolutely fine. But I think it was more of just being part of the team and contributing towards things. So we did smaller exercises. So sit in your desk and raise your arms, and, you know, do little bits and pieces so that everyone could have something to do. I wasn't star jumping. I don't like star jumps.
Very interesting. Actually, it was more about teamwork than actual physical effort. Yeah, interesting. Now, I've got a hand up from a mysterious number, CC87724. Who'd like to come in? I think it might be. Oh, it's gone. Nobody wants to come in. Was that somebody wanted to come in with a hand up? They've taken it down, obviously. Okay, all right. So Lisa, any other reflection you want to offer on your success then?
No, we're just really pleased to have achieved the accreditation. It's been really important to our staff to know that, I think more than anything, that the management team, and especially the directors that are integral to the business, are actually looking after their welfare and have put these procedures in place. We're a small business, so, you know, it is basically just trying to do as much as we can for everybody to know that they're supported and looked after, and that's the main thing for us. So we're really pleased.
And that's a theme, oddly enough, we're going to come back to as we go through the next few companies as well. Really, so well said to you, and congratulations then to Lisa, and of course everyone at Apex. So Lisa, well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, Sharon, and the next.
Oh, yeah, and the next one we move on to is Digital Glue Limited. They're a digital and marketing agency based in Birmingham, and they employ 50 members of staff. And Claire Bramhall is their finance director, and she's led on the Thrive programme. And for them, it was all about really formalising a lot of their practices, you know, putting lots of policies and procedures, actually writing them down, and developing a wellbeing strategy and a real sort of wealth of information about wellbeing on a website. They use lunch and learn sessions to promote health and wellbeing, trying to make it a little bit more informal. And when we were talking to staff, they all commented on how useful the MSK session had been, you know, really highlighting how important it is, your posture, particularly when you're working at home and sitting at the desk, making sure that you're moving around. And as a result of that, she introduced protective lunch hours, so that no meetings are arranged, to try and encourage staff to move away and actually get a break from the workstation. And when I was speaking to Claire, when we did the accreditation, something that she said really stuck with me. And she said that now, as a result of Thrive, staff seem to be fitting work around life and not life around work. And this is due to the more flexibility in their working day, especially now that they've introduced the hybrid working arrangements. So Claire has sent in a very short and sweet acceptance recording that we will now play.
Thriveatwork's really important to our business. It helps us prove to our team that we value people and that we put them first in everything we do. And it's also really important to attract the right kind of talent to come and work here.
Now, is Claire on the line? Because I think Claire on the line.
I am, yes.
Because don't sound so worried, because congratulations is the first thing to say. But I think
Thank
the
you.
last thing you said is obviously where the question's got to be. You're in a very competitive market for talent in Birmingham in digital at the moment. So when you said about it helping attract
Yes.
talent, just say a little bit about that, because that was really interesting.
So there's lots of people in marketing, and we're all after those same really good quality candidates. We do lots of things differently to most of those marketing firms, from the way that we help our customers and we show the return on investment. But really the biggest difference between us and other organisations is the way we treat our people. We already had a mental health policy in place where, say somebody doesn't sleep very well at night, they can just message their manager at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, I'm going to be in late, because they don't want to have to stay awake. Or, you know, if they do fall asleep at 4 o'clock in the morning, you don't want to have to get up at 7 to tell your manager you're not coming to work. So we already had lots of things like that in place. And Thrive just really gave us helped us identify the gaps and really helped us finesse our systems. And as a result, we've got lots of people in the organisation being more open about how they feel. We work part from home and part from the office. People will send a message saying, you know, I'm taking my dog for a walk at lunchtime or at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because they need a break from their desk. And all those things were there, but it doesn't seem like people felt like they could use them. And now they really do. Everybody's happier, apart from a big cold, but, you know, it's winter.
But I loved your story as well about protective lunch breaks, and I'm sure everybody, and that's just something I think it was Joe who just flashed up on the screen about that as well. But the other thing that you said about the work-life balance, to use the old-fashioned language, I mean, everybody talks about that. How have you actually achieved it?
Oh, many different ways. So we ask everyone to work between 10 and 4, because that's the time when our clients get hold of us most often. But if people want to start work at 10 and work later in the evening because that suits them, then we let that happen. If people need to go to a doctor's appointment or dentist appointment, rather than trying to schedule it at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, you know, it's when it suits them. We also had a slightly random situation during COVID. One of our team is from one of the European countries and needed to go home and see a family member. And they went, when borders were open and when they were able to go, they travelled abroad and they couldn't get home, like back to England. So they worked remotely from that country for about a month. It made no difference to their output. It made no difference to what the clients saw, because we were all working from home anyway. And that made us actually think, well, if they can do it from that country so far away, then we can definitely do it when we all live in Birmingham. And so we've brought that in as well. We've got different people who over the Christmas period will be working from their native countries, so they can spend time with their family in the evenings and the weekends. And that's why they're fitting their life around their work rather than, you know, work around life.
Wow, brilliant practical example, Claire. I'm sure everyone is full of admiration for what you've done. You make it all sound so straightforward, but companies agonise over it. So thank you for being such a great example, Claire, and congratulations.
Thanks to the Thriveatwork team for really supporting us and helping get this far. It's been excellent.
Lovely. Okay, Sharon, back to you.
Okay. And the next organisation in this group is AM and Edm Limited. They're an engineering solutions manufacturer in the automotive and aerospace sector, and they're based in Sme with 75 employees. And their workforce is almost entirely male, with the majority of them being over in their 50s, who can sometimes be a little bit more resistant to change and or even more uncomfortable with topics such as mental health and well-being. So for this company, both Melvin, who's the director, and Phil, the lead, has shown that practical changes within this organisation, things like bringing in formal return to work interviews that have the well-being element and discussions in them, has enabled the organisation to handle this and sickness more effectively. And Phil has spent a lot of time putting this video recording together. And there's a little bit of background noise in it from the machines, but we decided to leave this in so that you could just really feel what it's like in the environment of the organisation. So let's play their recording.
A&M EDM are precision engineers based in Sme. We're really proud to have achieved the Thriveatwork Bronze Level Award. We have 68 staff manufacturing high-value components and precision tooling for automotive, aerospace and motorsports. Most of our workforce are male in a traditional manufacturing engineering environment. Wellbeing was not a topic staff were comfortable discussing, and like many SMEs, we do not have a dedicated human resources function. We engage colleagues using discussions, online materials, newsletters, posters, and trying new diets and exercise for themselves. Initiatives including a new staff forum, an in-house gym, and a confidential mental health counselling service. This is Martin, who's developed from an apprentice to an experienced CNC engineer.
So taking up a career at A&M in engineering has really helped me come out of myself, and I struggled with depression and anxiety throughout my life, which has sort of opened up my eyes to it not being such a myth as people may think. So I've used that to help me work on Thriveatwork at work and help other people with their struggles at work.
Thrive was the catalyst for A&M to invest in the most important asset of the company, our team. The major benefits were that it made staff feel valued, it really helped some individuals, and it gave us a solid foundation to respond to COVID. We're moving on to the silver level and would encourage all SMEs and manufacturers to take up the Thrive Challenge.
Phil, that's phenomenal, and I can vouch for the fact personally that this is an outstanding company. So Phil, are you on the line? I wasn't sure if you were going to be actually, but it doesn't look as though Phil is there. That's what I thought. Anyway.
No, I'm here.
You are here. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
I'm stalking you today because I've also been at the Black Country Institute of Technology opening, which was fantastic.
Oh, brilliant. Hopefully you thought that was spot on in terms of thinking about new high-level technical skills.
Yeah, and that's where we want our apprentices to continue on to go to degree level skills, really important. And we fondly remember your visit here pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Look, Thrive has been a very, very hard challenge for us because we were doing a lot of the right things, but we didn't have the processes in place. We didn't record things. It forced us into discipline. It gave us the framework. The Thrive team were fantastic. And we had some arguments and robust discussions at times because a lot of the questions seemed more suited to larger organisations with more capacity. But we got there in the end, and I think it was really, really important that it gave us the framework to have earned the trust of our staff that we weren't doing things just for the bottom line. We were trying to think about their holistic well-being, and that was the right baseline then for some of the flexible things we had to do to get through the pandemic.
Brilliant.
If we are through it.
Yeah, exactly. The question I just wanted to ask you, because as I said, it came out in the previous contribution as well. How important was it that this was led from the top and that everyone knew that the boss was behind this?
Initially, it was important, but then we tried to flip it round and turn. We're a fairly flat organisation, so we wanted initiatives to come from people. From everybody who's a member of our team, and we've ended up focusing on mental health and some of the healthy eating and sharing recipes for healthy eating and the physical exercises, because we've got people doing standing at machines for a lot of the time, and they need to exercise their backs and go out and get some fresh air. So there's all sorts of great ideas come, and there are lots of resources. I was also at the MHPP event yesterday in Coventry, and some of the mind resources are fantastic.
Brilliant. Phil, we could talk all afternoon, but there's a few other companies we should feature. But can I just say a huge congratulations to you and everyone at your company. And the thing you said that has very much stuck in my mind is this helped us move through COVID. That's a very powerful sentence. So thank you very much indeed, Phil. Many congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you, Sharon.
Okay. So this is the final group in this, final organisation in this group that we recognise. And this is Specialty Fibres Materials Limited. And they're based in Coventry. And they're a specialist gelling, fibre and X-ray detectable yarn manufacturer. And they employ 70 employees. And it's really been Mel Tranter that's led on the Thriveatwork there. And they found after completing the self-assessment, they had some gaps in their provision, and they had to create lots of new policies and procedure. And they introduced a wellbeing policy, a smoking policy, and expanded their alcohol policy to include substance misuse. They too organised lots of different speakers. The topic there that was also interesting was MSK health. They looked at menopause and mental wellbeing. And staff really genuinely appreciate the emphasis that's now being put on health and wellbeing. So let's hear their acceptance of the award. And I think you will agree with me that you can see the excitement from both Marta and Amanda in their achievement of receiving this.
Oh, thank you. We're absolutely delighted to receive this Thriveatwork Bronze Award. Amazing. Yes, well done. We've worked hard over the last couple of years at implementing new wellbeing initiatives across our entire business. We've got an incredible pool of talents across the entire company. They're amazing, and together we will continue to make specialty fibres and materials a success.
I want to say thank you to the Thrive team that has supported us along the way, helped us identify gaps and provided with some very useful material to help us support our colleagues. I love the impact that this has had on our business, and we're looking forward to pushing forward to the next stage. Thank you.
Oh, lovely. That's very uplifting for everybody, actually. Thank you. And Marta and Amanda, are you on the line?
Hi, hello, I'm here.
That's Marta, isn't it, by the sound of it?
That's Marta, yes.
Yeah, lovely. So the question I just want to ask you, because again, it's a generic one really, is you said you had to put lots of processes, paperwork in place. Has this been a pain, or has it actually been the thing that's made things happen? Has it been liberating, those processes?
We did have quite a lot in place, but there were some gaps as well, and I think it was a bit scary to begin with. Some of the policies we didn't know how to start, but the Thrive support team was amazing. Good. And I think once you get started, you just carry on. So we had 3 months of very, very hard work, and we smashed most of it. So it was really good experience.
And do you think you would ever have done this without the nudge of the Thrive team?
I think we would struggle. I think that the team was really, really good. We had regular meetings, so they could make sure that whatever we got stuck or when nothing was happening, they were always giving us a push. And also there is a lot of materials available, and that's been very, very helpful as well. A lot of resources that you can use, and it was, I think, without Thrive initiative, we wouldn't have known about them. So it was really good.
Well, thank you, Marta, for speaking up. But the four of you from SMEs, different sectors, have all made the same point, really, that the Thrive team are there to help and to enable you. And when you haven't got the huge resources of a massive organisation, that's really important. So thank you for playing that back, and hopefully that will encourage others to come on board as well. But Marta, many congratulations to you and to your very dynamic business. Thank you. Thank you. Right, Sharon, back to you.
Okay, so we're moving on to the second group now, that are our public sector organisations. So for some of these, they're quite diverse employers and they provide various different services. So it can sometimes be quite challenging to communicate and meet all the different needs of their staff. And it can also be a little bit more challenging for them to gather the necessary evidence from across all their different sort of areas as well. But with a focused approach, they would again easily achieve this. So we're going to start with recognising Warwickshire County Council, and they have around 4,500 members of staff. They too started their journey before COVID was heard of, and they have a number of different people involved in leading on their journey. And I think the chief executive that we're going to hear from, she recognises the work of all those that have been concerned. As a result of Thrive, they've introduced wellbeing discussions in their appraisals and their one-to-ones to try and hope to focus on the support of wellbeing. And due to COVID too, they're another organisation that have introduced agile working. And the staff really did appreciate that when we were talking to them, getting away from those traditional ways of working. And they really feel now that they're giving health and wellbeing a much greater emphasis, and they're starting to see the benefits of that, as you will hear in this recording.
Hello, I'm Monica Fogarty, Chief Executive of Warwickshire County Council, and I'm delighted that the County Council has been recognised with the Thriveatwork Bronze Award. The wellbeing of our people is a key priority, and it's our people that make Warwickshire great. We know that supporting our people to be their very best at work will enable the County Council to achieve its objectives and even to exceed their objectives on occasion. The last 18 months has seen the resilience of the organisation, its people and the workforce tested more than ever before. And our focus on wellbeing has been absolutely front and centre during this time. We've also checked in on wellbeing levels regularly, and we've also seen a significant reduction in sickness absence levels. Now, as we step forward from this extraordinary chapter, we are committed to continuing our efforts to promote wellbeing and to support our people to be well at work. We are absolutely committed to that. So thank you again for this recognition, and thank you to all of the many County Council colleagues who took the time to participate in this process. Thank you for the recognition and well done, everyone.
Monica, that's lovely to hear you and to see your generosity towards others as well. So you on the line, Monica?
No, I don't think she is, but we've got other representatives, I think, Andy.
Anybody else from Warwickshire want to step forward? Izzy would be very proud of you. Councillor Seckham. Oh yes, the screen is filled. So Kate, tell us a bit about, because you know this is a hard-nosed question. My apologies, because I know you did a lot to monitor well-being and support every individual. But reduction in sickness levels, that's pretty amazing given what we've been through. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so we actually had really quite high levels of sickness absence up until when the pandemic struck, and then we really thought, oh my God, that's going to be awful. It's going to really increase. But I think our approach to the agile working offer, in terms of people letting people work at their best and really trusting people to do a great job for Warwickshire, really led us a long way towards reducing our sickness absence figures significantly. So our aim now is how we maintain those going forward as we kind of come out of the restrictions and into kind of business as usual. So,
and one other question for you: in a big organisation, and Phil touched on this earlier on, for a small, medium-sized organisation, and arguably it's easier in that situation. How do you make sure that people feel that their ideas are really being seized and taken forward in a big organisation?
Yeah, absolutely. We're such a big and complex organisation in terms of the kind of roles that we've got across the organisation. So we have to engage in lots of different ways, and we have to know that one size doesn't fit all. So our absolute approach is back to how can we be our best in our individual teams and not have strict prescriptive rules for each team to follow, but actually say, go and work it out together as a team. What's going to work best for you? What do you need to enable you to do your work properly? And let's listen to that rather than trying to come up with council-wide things that might not hit the spot.
Very wise. Kate, I'm conscious of time. I should move on. Thank you and congratulations to Warwickshire. Next,
Thank
Sharon.
you very much.
Okay. And our next public sector is actually Coventry City Council. And they have 4,662 employees. And the council do have a dedicated in-house occupational health, safety and wellbeing service. And the Thrive lead there is Angela White, and she's the manager of the service. And along with Suzanne Newing, the director of HR, they have led with support from other offices in the council. And for them, I think Thrive has helped them to gain a better understanding of the needs of their employees by carrying out a health needs assessment and a staff survey, which has helped them really to build on their existing wellbeing offer. And they've also introduced some health champions across the organisation to support and communicate their incentives that they are doing. So let's take a look at their case study.
Hello, my name is Susanna Newing. I'm the Director of HR from Coventry City Council. We're really pleased to be receiving the Bronze Thrive Award from West Midlands Combined Authority. And although we had established a health and wellbeing group and also had a substantial health and wellbeing offer, what we've really found valuable during the Thrive process has been to sharpen our thinking, and it's also helped contribute to how we plan and introduce health and wellbeing interventions and support. The other real benefit has been working in partnership with public health, trade union colleagues and the wider workforce to make sure the offer that we're providing is wanted and is needed. And the last 18 months has been a really timely reminder of that during the COVID experience. And it really helped us during that period in terms of identifying what we could do to help and support our workforce at a really challenging time.
From an occupational health perspective, Thrive has contributed to a number of improvements in the health and wellbeing offer, including additional benefits for employees such as appointing a health and wellbeing lead, musculoskeletal interventions and an EAP. It has also been key in driving forward a better understanding of the wellbeing needs of the workforce through the staff wellbeing surveys, with the second one being carried out in September this year. Our learning from this will help to direct our health and wellbeing planning going forward. We are looking forward to the next steps, which is working towards and obtaining the Silver Award.
So Angela, it was Angela, wasn't it? Yes, Angela, you were the first to lay the gauntlet down to say you're going for silver. So are you on the line, or is your HR director, Suzanne, on the line?
It's me.
Oh, brilliant. So you've committed to camera to say you're going for silver. What have you got to do to get there?
I've already started. So we've been uploading evidence towards the Silver Award. We are using our wellbeing lead in a very positive way. It certainly makes it easier to have a wellbeing lead. It focuses the attention of the organisation on wellbeing in a much more detailed way. And you know, sort of we're looking forward to achieving silver. We're already on the road.
Incredible. And so good luck with that. I just have to ask you one very quick question. The practical stuff you've done really stands out in your citation. I loved the idea of podiatry clinics for refuge collectors. Is that true?
Yes, and also for adult social care. So it's really for any employee that spends a long time on their feet.
It's brilliant, brilliant. We did exactly the same in John Lewis for the same reason. So there we go. All right, Angela, thank you and many congratulations. And I look forward to celebrating silver with you maybe next year. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you. And thanks to the Thrive team. They've been great.
Brilliant. Okay, back to you, Sharon.
Okay. Okay, the next couple of organisations we haven't actually got a video recording from, so I'll just quickly, briefly read what they have been doing. So Stratford-on-Avon District Council, they employ 313 employees, and they've had, once again, various different people leading on the project for them. But it was mainly Lena Dorman that started it, and then Maggie McLeod has finished their bronze level. And they had, once again, a few initiatives in place, but it wasn't really a clear policy that sat behind it all. So Thrive has really helped them to do this. And they've introduced Respect Champions for mental health, and they've delivered many wellbeing initiatives, switching over to Zoom when we hit our COVID situation. And the sessions for resilience and training for sort of staff really seem to be quite key. It was interesting that they've hit actually some of the silver topics, and they've actually addressed menopause and tackling debt and finance wellbeing. So that's excellent to see. So we're really proud of what they've achieved. And unfortunately, it was due to some key staff being off today that they couldn't send us in a clip and be with us. So the final organisation in this group is the Office of Public Guardian, and they're an executive agency of the Ministry of Justice, and they're based in Birmingham. And they have around 1,400 employees, and it's been Yvette that has really led on this Thrive journey. And their employees do operate in a very fast-paced and target-driven environment, which does come with many challenges. And they've struggled a little bit to find a place for wellbeing. And really, Yvette has worked very hard to ensure that now senior managers understand the importance of wellbeing, and it's now got its place at the strategic board level. And they're doing many incentives to improve wellbeing in their day-to-day activities. They do have a lot of incentives in place. They've got mental health first aiders, they have employee assistance programme, they've got some support staff networks and mental health allies, and do give and have an extensive range of health and wellbeing information. So unfortunately, Yvette is on a bit of a secondment doing some urgent other work, so they wasn't in a position to send us in the video. I know her manager, Danielle, is here today, but didn't really feel that they knew enough about the sort of programme to actually sort of speak with us. So well done to them, and thank you.
I'm happy to add a few words since then, Sharon. It's just it was such short notice that it came over to me.
Fine.
If we have time, though, I don't want to take up too much of the session.
Daniel, we'd love to hear from you, so as briefly as you can would be great.
Indeed. No, of course. I'll just build on what you said rather than repeat any of it then. Thank you very much to the Thrive team again. Yeah, we did find ourselves struggling an awful lot, especially over COVID. There have been a lot of changes, both to the organisation and the team. So it's really been about pulling together all of those different avenues of support in the best way, making sure they're accessible. And we've actually embedded from the results of the Thrive assessments, as well as from conversations with staff from across the organisation, wellbeing as part of our sort of next 3-year people promise. And it's one of the 4 sort of founding avenues of it. And we have a number of different projects on strengthening all of those different support mechanisms that you've mentioned and making sure it's accessible to people. And we're including a wonderful, alongside the MOJ's belonging approach, a wonderful programme of what we're calling Let's Talk About sessions, where we're holding panel sessions to talk to staff about any number of issues. It's the list is infinite. It's contentious. We started off with Let's Talk About belonging. We're going to be talking about neurodiversity next, but we're looking at additional subjects such as around menopause, women's health, men's mental health, and race issues. So we've got quite a program of that coming up to be able to listen to what staff needs actually are, so that we can move that into a let's take action.
Great theme, Daniel. You didn't need to be coy about not being confident enough to speak. You've done a brilliant job. So well done you, and well done to your organisation. Now then, to the last category, which is the larger SME organisations. Just 3 more in here. So we're going for an on-time finish, as they say. So Sharon, back to you to talk about the first of those 3 organisations.
Thank you. So our first one is Meccalac Construction Equipment Limited, and they design and produce compact construction equipment that includes things like site dumpers and compaction rollers, whatever they may be. And they're based in Coventry with around 200 employees. And they actually joined Thrive back in 2018 when we were running a pilot trial. So for reaching bronze foundation for them, it shows their real determination and perseverance to improve the well-being in their sort of industry, which does sometimes suffer a little bit more from mental health and well-being. And Sharon Chalice-Brown, the head of HR and HSE, has really driven that sort of forward. And I think some of their initiatives have been picnic tables outside to encourage eating outside. They've provided extra cycle storage to encourage some active travel. They've given mental health training and resilience training to their managers. And they have done an awful lot to ensure that well-being to their employees has improved from what they considered to be very minimal at the start of their journey. So let's hear what Sharon has to say on her acceptance recording.
Thank you to the West Midlands Combined Authority for the award. Meccalac started the journey during 2019 as part of the national trial. For a business very traditional in nature, being a production facility for the construction industry, often these sorts of topics are less spoken about nor visible. Over a period of time, we have established a health and wellbeing strategy and a great base of information and support for our team members, which can now be built upon. We have set the foundations for team members to have conversations about wellbeing, never something mentioned previously. Achieving bronze level was a massive achievement for our business, which was made possible through the input from human resources and our health and wellbeing champions, and something for us to be proud of. So thank you.
So Sharon, we didn't actually see your video, but we could hear you incredibly clearly. So I hope you're on the line, Sharon, at the moment. Sharon Chalice-Brown, that is. Yes?
Hi there.
Hi, Sharon. Right. So the obvious question for you, because you mentioned it in your little speech, was these wellbeing issues had never been talked about before. And I'm sure there's lots of organisations around the West Midlands where that's true. And I hope I'm allowed to say this, particularly by men of a certain age. I think, say that, be one of them. So
yeah, I think you're right there, Andy. And I think Philip probably said something along similar lines there, just in terms of culturally, that's kind of the environment people are used to. So over time, that has most definitely improved. We're putting things in place such as adding extra questions into our employee engagement survey for this year as well, to be able to test the water on that again and just see where we're at and get another benchmark for us to be able to build on further. So lots of things, not been easy, but again, thank you to the Thriveatwork team, particularly Sharon Lindop originally, and more recently Jenny Duggan as well.
Thank you. That's the theme of the day, that the team have really helped you. And I guess there's a point about perseverance, isn't there? You just kept going. If you say it wasn't easy, you kept at it.
Yeah, most definitely. And like I say, it's definitely a team effort. You've got to have those people behind you. And I had a couple of good champions at the time, so we'll look to reinforce that as we go forward.
Thank you. And I'm not sure if the gentleman on the screen with you is Jürgen. If so, thank you for your support for this as well.
With great pleasure. I think it's really important, and we mentioned COVID a lot of times, but I think the pressure on teams currently also, especially in our industry, is manifold. There is Brexit, there is a material supplier situation. The pressure is huge, and I think an initiative like this in place helps to keep the team motivated and to keep the right spirit up.
Brilliant. Thank you for your leadership on it as well. And sorry to move on reasonably swiftly, but let's go to the penultimate award, bronze award winner. Back to you, Sharon.
Okay, so the second organisation is Sydney Stringer Academy, which is a co-education academy school for pupils that are 11 to 18 in Coventry, and they've got around 260 employees. And they too started work on Thrive, which was before COVID, And it was originally led by Sue Sanders, who has since retired, and the reins have been picked up by Ellen Coyle. So the school has introduced, once again, a number of different policies and enhanced the ones that they had. They now actually offer time off for smokers that are wishing to quit, and they also try and pay cycle mileage to encourage people to use their bikes to travel to meetings when it is possible. And really the whole school has focused on mental health this year, both for staff and for sort of students, and to try and drive it forward as they try to work towards silver. They're just setting up a steering group of sort of like-minded individuals in the school to support Ellen on their journey. And unfortunately, due to Ellen's working hours, she couldn't be with us today. So one of the colleagues is sort of with us, but I'm not sure if we're going to see this video, Lisa, because it isn't actually showing again as before. We're not seeing the picture. So we could just try again before we show their acceptance.
Lisa, do you want just to tell us what you think is happening?
We're not sure. We're doing the same thing as what we've done before, but for some reason it's just not showing.
Oh, I'm sorry, both, of course, the Meccalac. No, it's not come up. Oh, here we are. Here we are.
So,
and Lisa, I'm going to want to see the Meccalac video. Fire away with this one.
My name is Gemma Earls, Associate Head Teacher of Sydney String Academy, and I just want to say what an honour it is to accept this award today. A big thank you to the West Midlands Combined Authority and Jenny Duggan, who is Ellen's accreditor for this award. It's something that we've really strived to get right here at Sydney Stringer, and this has helped us massively to achieve a good balance for staff wellbeing and to boost staff morale. We've now got our own staff wellbeing team who massively contribute to the school and has an impact even wider. So it's great for us to do this, and it's great for us to have been a part of it, and we thank you very much for granting us this award.
Thank you very much to you. Now I'm told that it's Mariska Martins on the line for Sydney Stringer School. Is that right, Mariska?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Brilliant. And just tell us what your role is in the school, first of all.
I'm a learning support assistant at the moment, and I've been helping out Ellen slightly with the Thrive only recently. But before that, I've been trying to set up a wellbeing team at the school, because the previous member of staff, she started it, but she left for a different job, and it kind of all stopped a bit. So I've been trying to pick that up to get it all back together again.
Brilliant. And an obvious question, and I know you don't have notice of this, so it's a hard question, but I think it's a fair one. So what would young people in your school, pupils, see as the consequence of all of this? How's their experience changed?
You mean with the well-being?
Yeah.
And everything?
Yeah.
Yes, it's especially with COVID, it impacted a lot of students at the moment. So, like Gemma said, we're trying not only to focus on staff but students as well. So we've got a whole learning management team. And we've got students involved in their own mental well-being groups as well. So it's like a whole school thing, trying to help everybody getting a better view on the mental health. And we've also been doing some work with some physical activities and that. So
brilliant.
We've only recently now started with a plant in every, well, we've been trying to get a plan for a tutor group. So
that's marvellous to hear that you are going to do that, Mariska.
So we've got plant monitors in place, things like that.
Thank you. Sorry, it might just be mine, but the line wasn't that good. So my apologies for being relatively brief. But Mariska, thank you and many congratulations. An enormous undertaking across a school of your size and complexity. Thank you. Now, Lisa, can we just go back and see the Meccalac film, please? Can we do that?
We're just going back to it. We've got the other one ready.
My apologies.
No problem.
Lovely. Here we go.
Thank you to the West Midlands Combined Authority for the award. Meccalac started the journey during 2019 as part of the national trial. For a business very traditional in nature, being a production facility for the construction industry, often these sorts of topics are less spoken about nor visible. Over a period of time, we have established a health and wellbeing strategy and a great base of information and support for our team members, which can now be built upon. We have set the foundations for team members to have conversations about wellbeing, never something mentioned previously. Achieving bronze level was a massive achievement for our business, which was made possible through the input from human resources and our health and wellbeing champions, and something for us to be proud of. So thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. I wanted to see it. And then lastly, other Sharon, we go back to the last company, please.
Yeah, there's been too many Sharons, I think, today. We're getting confused. Yeah. So sorry, this IM, you had to wait to the very end, but we had to put somebody at the end here. So the final recognition goes to IM Group, who are a family-owned powerhouse in the automotive, property and financial sector. They're an international company now, but they were actually founded in the Midlands, and they employ about 400 members of staff. They signed up to Thrive because they felt that their company values matched those of Thrive, and Judy Wood and Lucy Heath have really led on their journey, ensuring their policies aligned with Thrive criteria and that the line manager training was improved and wellbeing support that they already had in place, they gave greater visibility to. They've got wellbeing champions in place across the whole group, regardless of their location. I don't really need to say too much more about this organisation because they have sent in a lovely professional recording for us to watch, and this tells it all.
IM Group's values are very important to the culture and all that we do at IM. And as the values of togetherness, respect, integrity and commitment, they are actually borne out in Thrive Award. It just seemed a perfect fit that with all that we're already doing, but also bringing more and more staff on board to show them the benefits that are so important to us as a group.
As a major business and property developer and investor in the West Midlands, I think working with the West Midlands Combined Authority is very important. It shows support for them, showcases what we're doing in the region, and also a lot of the work that we're doing at the gate for our officers here and the wellness and the work we're doing is a good way of recognition for everything we're doing.
Wellbeing of staff is always really important, and especially after the past 18 months to 2 years that we've had, it just came around at a really good time, and we just thought it's, the perfect opportunity to really sink our teeth into it, work within the framework and actually, put something together and implement different areas of health and wellbeing across the company.
Within this building and beyond this building, there's so much that the business, the group is doing. I mean, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's emotional, or even spiritual, there is so much that goes on within this building and outside this building that supports the fundamentals of Thrive.
Being involved with Mente, looking after the mental health of our staff, has been very important. Obviously the physical side, when people have been working from home, but also now they're coming back into the office. So simple things within the office, such as our desks that stand up, such as doing online Pilates. We do simple things like meetings, walking meetings outside around the grounds. The environment is very important to us here, the environment we create for the staff.
You notice the amount of natural light that is here from the way the building's been designed, the offer in terms of the facilities with the gym, the restaurant, the breakout spaces, there's pool tables, the list goes on.
We have a fantastic restaurant facility where healthy eating is important, and the company that deliver the food and work with us, they're all about sustainability. Is the food of a good quality? Is it local? How does it help keep us as employees fit? So they're always providing healthy food and telling us how many calories we're eating.
We deliver, from a properties perspective, we deliver developments and the places that we create, the environments that we create are really important to the employees of our ultimate clients, the occupiers, but also how those places increasingly stitch into the adjoining communities. The people make a business, don't they? So if you're looking after your staff, giving them job satisfaction, they're going to care more, do a job better, have a spring in their step, come back into the office the next day.
It's a big achievement. A lot of work's been put into it from all areas of the business.
And we've all learned a lot, I think, over the last 18 months. Of going through the Thrive process, of understanding what it is we do and how comprehensive it is. And I think it's really, really good that ultimately we've got some external recognition of everything that we're doing across the various initiatives.
And so it has been an excellent way of bringing everybody together and showing the importance of not just giving out in your employment and what you're doing in your job, but actually taking care of your staff. So it's really important for us as a group. And for that reason, we are going to continue working towards silver and getting that gold.
Wow. Well, I think you now all know why we left that film till last. It's quite stunning, isn't it? And if people don't know, that's the IM Group headquarters at Blythe Valley in Solihull, which is just a remarkable manifestation of everything they stand for. So incredible. Judy, Lucy, are either of you on the line?
We are, we're all here.
You're all there en masse. Well, thank you for making such a brilliant film, which I hope you'll use many times over. But the obvious question I want to ask you, because you're a very successful business with all those resources, a lot of companies are a lot smaller. What would you say is the essence of what you've done that could be taken to smaller, perhaps businesses that don't have the resources that you do?
I think that video showed the IM Gate, our central headquarters offices, but what we have to remember is we've got offices throughout Britain, indeed throughout the world. And so, for instance, our import centre in Sheerness only has 16 staff in that office. Ryder Street, another of ours, has about 40 staff. So what's been important to us is not just the facilities that we've got at the gate here, but how we can take Thrive, how we can ensure that every single individual member of staff can benefit from this wherever they're at. And so that has meant that we've had to be creative in ways that we deliver health, mental well-being, the physical aspects in our offices, such as in Sheerness, where there's only 15 staff. So I think it's showing that it's not one size fits all, but it's flexibility to meet the needs of the individuals.
That's a brilliant answer. It doesn't have to be about everything as beautiful as you've created for your staff at Blythe Valley. Anybody else from IM want the last word?
Well, just from the properties side specifically, as you will have seen from the video, I sit in the IM properties part of the business, and I think I'm really, really chuffed that we have got that external recognition. We have benchmarked ourselves doing this work, so we know where we are now. We know where we want to get to. So there's conversations going on at the moment about how do we take it further? How does it fit with our own sort of sustainability strategy, which hopefully we'll be launching soon. So that's all been a very, very worthwhile exercise. But the final thing is, in the development world, we need to deliver, and I guess we need in the places that we deliver, we've got to exhibit the qualities of Thrive. So we need to walk the walk, because we're building homes, we're delivering employment spaces, and we want all the people that we engage with to see the values of what we're doing.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for being such wonderful advocates, along with every other accredited winning company. Thank you all. Sharon, last words from you.
Yes, I know we're just slightly running over, but we're nearly there. So obviously that has concluded all the awards. And I think if we all just put our hands together very briefly and just say, well done. Yeah. And on behalf of all the organisations and my staff, I just really want to say a really big thank you to the delivery teams that have supported you along your sort of journey. In particular, we have a team at Coventry City Council that deliver that. So that's Jenny Duggan and Sharon Naylor, and you've heard them mentioned quite a few times today. And also in my team, we have Mitzi Donovan and Davina Jenkins. So thank you all for your support. Andy, if you'd just like to close and say a few.
Of course, I only want to be very brief as well. First thing to say is once again, congratulations to all our winners. Secondarily, thank you, Sharon, to you and all the professionals, because one of the themes this afternoon is the professionals are there to help you through this process. And of course, thirdly, I hope what today has done is given everyone confidence that if they're just starting, as one of the first observations said, the support there and push. And if you're already at foundation or bronze level, next year we'll be celebrating many more at higher levels. And we've heard a few very clearly committing to silver and gold, and ultimately that's all about the greater well-being of our citizens and our employees. So thank you for what I think is a movement that's getting real momentum. Good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you.